Everyone chug fast. Are you okay?
I'm sorry.
What is it? This is a beautiful country. Well, first of all, let's focus on these views.
We're gonna play cards.
With our grandma's face on
Where
it.
do you think you got them?
Because there's no Wi-Fi.
That's the only reason.
So
Also,
what are we
family
playing?
bonding.
What are we playing?
Go
Poker.
fish.
What did we decide? Is the Adrian Sea?
Adriatic.
Adriatic?
There's a song about the Adriatic Sea.
Adriatic. I want to go boating. Yeah, Slovenia, Croatia. Slovenia's like straight across, and Croatia's just south. What's across?
No, she's good. I'm good
I'm
with
just
that.
video.
Okay, so.
Am I supposed to do anything? No. I mean, you can. Have you been? Have you been to Barcelona, Alyssa? Our hotel recommended this place for lunch, well, just to eat. And they open in 20 minutes, which is at 12. So we're gonna try and get gelato first, and that was my recommendation. Good gelato in Italy, like the real stuff. You can't have it, like when you go into the store, it can't be like piled high to where it's like impressive, you know, because there's like a lot of it. It's meant to just be like there. Like, you don't want it piled high, you want it just like normal. I don't know. Thanks, Jen. Who told you that? Good old Megan. Hi, Megan. Shouts to Megan. How did she know that? Because she studied in Italy. Oh, okay. But I actually want one of those hats. What hat? Please get one. One of those, the hats that like the gondola drivers wear. Those ones? Penny for a turnaround. Oh my god, you're too cute. I can't
Thank you.
control it. Grazie. Grazie mille. You know what you want? Okay. Can I get one scoop of dark chocolate and a cone? But it's the real one, so it's fine. That's the real Jennifer. None of this Y stuff. I thought you were the real Jennifer. I love Nochi. Really? Oh, we ruined it. You don't care? Nope. It's got strings and everything. It's gonna be heavy. Look at those pretty birds. Oh, look at the guitar. Jen, you should buy it. Okay. Jen, you look so cute. I can't get over it. And it was like, no, it was like a real guitar. Made of glass.
Sam, I only went to. Aaron's gonna get Sabrina a $500 clutch.
Oh, yes?
Gucci.
Oh, yes? Wow.
Heb je een mooiste?
Oh my goodness. My sisters are talking about how extra
Venetians are.
Venetians are.
And just Venice, probably.
I love how big that flag is.
That's like American status.
Status indeed.
Where's the Doge?
Alyssa just said that the Duke of Venice is building this building right here. Nice. Smile, Jen.
There are a lot of churches. This is our hotel view. That's gorgeous.
I'll just stand here.
Hi everybody, I'm Elena. Welcome to my walking tour. Now before starting with the tour, let me just give you some few pieces of information about who I am and why I'm doing. Of course, I don't have an hour to talk about the history, so let's say 10-15 minutes to sum up the main facts. So according to tradition, Venice was founded in 421 AD. At that time, a Celtic people called the Veneti lived along the coast of what is now northeast Italy. In 453, the barbarian invasions start. So Attila the Hun arrives in Italy, and many of these Veneti, in terror, they flee to the islands of the lagoon. Of course, it is an intelligent move. Why? Because nobody knows about the existence of these lagoons, and they're quite muddy as well. So it's not a nice idea to sail in these places. So that way they're able to protect themselves from the enemy, and they start building villages here. Then history repeats itself with the arrival of the Longobards. So what we can improperly call Venice starts to become bigger and bigger. Of course, when I say they started building villages here, it's because you don't have to think about Venice as a single big island, but as a cluster of 118 different islands, which means every time you cross a bridge in Venice, you go from one island to the other. And you have to imagine the city not as you see it today. At the beginning, we didn't have bridges. And we also had more canals. So people really moved only with boats, and it was possible to live in nearby villages, just like here, and across the bridge on the other side, and not even knowing each other. I mean, have you ever asked yourselves, why is it that we have so many churches in Venice? You know, the city is a very small city. We still have something like almost 200 churches, precisely for this reason, because we had different villages, pretty much independent one from the other. At a certain point, they all became Catholic villages, and of course, what's the first thing you build in a Catholic village? Church. Something about this church here. Now, first of all, before this, can I keep my phone in my hand, because I have to check the time and I forgot my watch, so I don't want to use it. I just have to look at the hour, because it closes in 15 minutes, so I have to be quick if I want to send you inside. This is the only reason why. Okay, so this is the Church of St. Mary of the Assumption, also known as Jesuit Church. Now, over the centuries, the Venetian Republic has had a series of conflicts with the Vatican, and for this reason it risked to be excommunicated several times. Now, in the early 16th century, during one of these conflicts, the Jesuit order sided with Rome. And for this reason, of course, it was banished from Venice. When they were readmitted, 50 years later, they took possession of this church, which was a 12th century church that had belonged to the Crucifery order. Crucifery order is just another Catholic order. Now, the facade, as you see today, was completed in 1729, and it has remained the same over the centuries. Now, generally speaking, we can really say the Jesuits were never welcomed in Venice. Why? Well, because they were among the richest Catholic orders, and of course, what happens when you're rich? You're powerful. If you're powerful, you can become a threat for the Republic.
competition, I'm assuming.
Part of the city. Well, I wasn't lying. I mean, this is the extreme northern part of Venice. There's nothing more than this. This is the end of the city. So that's the open lagoon. Now the green island you see there, that's the island of San Michele. In our cemetery was built by Napoleon in 1807. At first, there was only the island of St. Christopher, but then later the bigger island of San Michele was absorbed and given the same function, and nowadays it is known as the island of San Michele. We can really say the cemetery is a modern masterpiece. It's a very beautiful place, even if it's just a cemetery. We also have famous people buried there. I give you some names: Stravinsky, Brodsky, Ezra Pound. So if you think you've seen everything about Venice, you still want to see something more, something different, just go there. It's a nice trip. Now, I tell you this so that you know, nowadays we are 54,000 people living in the lagoon. Well, we have more dead people than alive. We have something like more than 70,000 people buried there. And you know, once I had a tourist and she asked me, how does it function? How can you bury your people? I mean, it works exactly the same way as in the rest of the world. The thing is, that's an island. They have the same problems we have with high tide. So when the tide rises, those on the ground, they get wet. That's what happens. Now, it looks like it's a huge...
Codfish.
Another washer?
I've seen that before. Seabass. Jane got salad, which we know what that looks